A legacy of outrage. 10 times. Trump shocked the world. Let's be honest, folks, saying Donald Trump is a controversial figure is like saying that raccoons occasionally enjoy rummaging through garbage. This is a man who has built a career on saying the quiet part out loud, often while blasting a dog whistle so piercing it could shatter glass. From outright offensive remarks to baffling policy pronouncements, Trump has a knack for pushing the boundaries of what we thought was politically imaginable. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we take a deep dive into the 10 most outrageous moments of the Trump presidency. We'll revisit the incidents that made us laugh, cry, and question the very fabric of reality. Picture this. It's 2016. The presidential election is in full swing, and America is bracing itself for the final showdown between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Tensions are high, but nothing could have prepared us for the bombshell that was about to drop. A leaked tape from 2005 surfaces featuring Trump engaging in what can only be described as locker room talk with Billy Bush on Access Hollywood. And by locker room talk, I mean bragging about sexually assaulting women. The now infamous phrase, "grab 'em by the PEY," becomes instantly seared into the public consciousness. Trump's response? A half-hearted apology, followed by the insistence that it was just locker room talk. The nation was horrified. Women spoke out, sharing their own stories of sexual harassment and assault. Protests erupted across the country. This moment, more than any other, revealed the deep chasm in American society when it came to acceptable behavior from our leaders. Fast forward to 2020, the world is in the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic, and anxiety levels are about as high as Trump's daily McDonald's order. During one of his infamous press conferences, Trump, in a moment of pure, unadulterated genius, suggests that injecting disinfectant might be a viable treatment for COVID-19. Yes, you heard that correctly. The President of the United States, a man who presumably has access to the best medical minds in the world, suggested that injecting bleach might be a good idea. Naturally, the medical community went into full-blown meltdown mode. Doctors and scientists scrambled to issue public service announcements begging people not to inject or ingest cleaning products. The internet, as is its wont, exploded with memes and mockery, and yet, Trump, in his infinite wisdom, doubled down, claiming he was being sarcastic. The disinfectant debacle was a chilling reminder that we were living in a world where the leader of the free world was peddling potentially lethal medical advice. In August 2017, white supremacists descended upon Charlottesville, Virginia, for a rally that would leave the nation reeling. The images of torch-wielding neo-Nazis chanting racist slogans were chilling, a stark reminder of the ugly underbelly of American society. Then, in a moment that shocked even those who thought they'd become immune to Trump's brand of shock and awe politics, he uttered the now infamous phrase, "very fine people on both sides." Yes, you see, according to Trump, there were very fine people among the neo-Nazis and white supremacists who had marched on Charlottesville. The backlash was swift and furious. Even members of his own party condemned his remarks. But Trump, as he so often does, dug in his heels, refusing to unequivocally condemn white supremacy. This moment crystallized something truly terrifying about the Trump presidency. He was willing to exploit racial divisions for political gain. Mocking a disabled reporter, a new low, even for Trump. It's 2015, and Trump, then just a reality TV star with a penchant for self-promotion and a bizarrely orange complexion, is holding a rally during his presidential campaign. On stage, in front of thousands of cheering supporters, Trump launches into an attack on Serge Kovaleski, a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter for the New York Times who has arthrogryposis, a condition that affects the movement of his joints. Trump, in a grotesque display of mockery, flails his arms and contorts his face in a cruel imitation of Kovaleski's disability. The crowd roars with laughter. This wasn't just a politician attacking a journalist he disagreed with. This was a man who would soon be the most powerful person in the world, publicly mocking a disabled person for cheap laughs. The incident sparked widespread condemnation, with disability rights advocates and decent human beings everywhere expressing their disgust. Stormy Daniels and the hush money payment heard round the world. Ah, Stormy Daniels, the adult film star who became forever entwined with Donald Trump's presidency. In 2018, news broke that Trump had allegedly had an affair with Daniels a decade earlier, and that he had paid her $130,000 in hush money to keep quiet about it during the 2016 election. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone's personal life, but when you're running for President of the United States, particularly on a platform of family values and moral righteousness, paying hush money to an adult film star to cover up an alleged affair tends to raise a few eyebrows. The Stormy Daniels saga was more than just a salacious tabloid scandal. It was a glimpse into the murky world of Trump's personal dealings. Children in cages, a stain on America's conscience. In 2018, the Trump administration implemented a zero-tolerance policy at the U.S.-Mexico border, which resulted in the separation of thousands of migrant children from their families. Images of children being held in cages, crying out for their parents, sparked outrage and condemnation around the world. The policy was a moral abomination, a stain on America's conscience. It was a clear violation of human rights, a cruel and unnecessary measure designed to deter asylum seekers. The Trump administration defended the policy, arguing that it was necessary to deter illegal immigration. But the images of children in cages told a different story. They spoke of a callous disregard for human suffering, a willingness to inflict pain and trauma on the most vulnerable among us. Eventually, Trump was forced to back down, signing an executive order ending family separations. But the damage was done, and the trauma inflicted on those children will likely last a lifetime. The Upside-Down Bible, a photo op gone wrong. In June 2020, in the wake of the George Floyd protests against police brutality and racial injustice, Trump decided to stage a photo op at St. John's Church, a historic church near the White House that had been damaged by fire during the protests. However, there was just one small problem. The church was located in the middle of a protest zone, and protesters needed to be cleared out first. So what did Trump do? He ordered law enforcement to use tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the peaceful protesters so that he could have his photo op. And what a photo op it was. There, in front of the church, stood Trump, awkwardly clutching a Bible upside down and backwards like a toddler who had just discovered a new toy. The image was widely mocked and condemned as a tone-deaf and cynical attempt to exploit religion for political gain. Remember when Trump called for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States? Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so do millions of American Muslims who were understandably terrified by the prospect of a president who seemed intent on barring them from their own country. This wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark. This was a core tenet of his campaign, a promise to his base that he would discriminate against Muslims in the name of national security. Shortly after taking office, Trump signed an executive order banning travel from several Muslim-majority countries. The ban was immediately challenged in court and blocked by multiple judges, but not before it had sown chaos and confusion at airports across the country, separating families and stranding travelers. The Muslim ban wasn't just bad policy, it was un-American. During the 2016 campaign, Trump made a now infamous remark that revealed the depths of his self-belief and the unwavering loyalty he believed he inspired in his supporters. "I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody," he boasted, "and I wouldn't lose any voters." Now I know what you're thinking, hyperbole, right? Surely even Trump wasn't suggesting that he could literally get away with murder. And yet, the more you examine his behavior, the more you realize that he might not have been entirely wrong. Throughout his presidency, Trump repeatedly tested the limits of his supporters' loyalty, engaging in behavior that would have sunk any other politician. The Fifth Avenue remark was a chilling reminder that Trump believed he was above the law, that he was accountable to no one. And so we come to the final chapter of the Trump presidency, a chapter that will forever be etched in the annals of American history as a day of infamy. January 6, 2021. The day a mob of Trump supporters, fueled by his lies about a stolen election, stormed the U.S. Capitol in a violent attempt to overturn the results of a Democratic election. The images of that day are seared into our collective memory. The Confederate flags paraded through the halls of Congress, the rioters smashing windows and breaking into offices, the sheer terror on the faces of lawmakers as they were forced to flee for their lives. Trump, for his part, did little to stop the violence. In fact, he actively encouraged it, urging his supporters to fight like hell to take back our country. The insurrection was the culmination of years of Trump's assault on democratic norms and institutions. Donald Trump's presidency was a roller coaster ride through the depths of American politics. A relentless assault on our senses and our sensibilities. He shattered norms, eroded trust in institutions, and inflamed divisions within society. These 10 moments, outrageous as they were, are but a snapshot of the chaos and dysfunction that defined the Trump era. The true legacy of Donald Trump will be debated for decades to come. But one thing is certain, his presidency has left an indelible mark on American politics, one that will continue to shape our discourse and our democracy for years to come.